This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview. Joining us today is Paul Johnson, the CEO of Power Metal Resources. So this morning, Paul, the company has announced some news from GMR. That's the Golden Metal Resources company that is IPOing soon. You've raised £750,000 in pre-IPO financing. So what can you tell us about this?
Yeah, sure. Power Metal Resources has, as part of its business model, Mark, the spin out of certain interest from the portfolio. Interests focused on Nevada, USA. And we're planning to spin this into its own listed vehicle in London as soon as possible, and it's in process now. We wanted all outs to stand on their own 2 feet, so they could pay their own bills, and so the Power didn't have to constantly feed them with capital to do their work, pay their corporate expenses, pay for the listing expenses, and cover any exploration or development costs. So the best way to do this is by raising so before IPO finance, which is what we've announced today. So Golden Metal has secured £750,000 by issuing circa 11 million shares in Golden Metal. And that means that Power Metal, previously or currently owning 100%, will dilute down after the transaction to circa 83% of Golden Metal Resources, but importantly will no longer be required to finance that business, which is now self-financing.
Okay. So when you talk about GMR being self-financing, what exactly do you mean? And I assume this must be good for Power, because it doesn't mean the company has to be funded from the Power Metals level.
Yeah, we built an enormous business model. Probably overworked ourselves in the process, in fairness, Mark. But we've got a plan, and our plan is to take this oversized business and elements of it and put those elements, including Golden Metal Resources and some others, into their own listed vehicles. They then have with their own financing, as demonstrated today. The model works. They have their own management teams. They have their own energy, drive, and determination. And it's very much the case that, if you have a dedicated, focused, and advanced business model, which is exactly what Golden Metal Resources is, then you have the ability in our markets to create tremendous or almost dramatic value, particularly coming from such a depressed sentiment environment that we have at the moment. So we are keen to do these vehicles as efficiently as possible. We're keen for them to be self-financing so that we don't have to pay the bills. And so that shareholders of Power Metal Resources say, okay, I can see what they've done is to create a powerhouse through Golden Metal of resource exploration and development that could create tremendous value with the advancement of certain of its interests and new metal discoveries within certain of its project interests. But we're not paying for that. We're not worried about dilution in Power to cover the cost of this, because Golden Metal is now standing on its own 2 feet.
Okay. And what about the projects in Golden Metal Resources? What projects are there? Can you just remind us? And how are you going to build value with them?
Okay, there's 4 projects in Golden Metal Resources. There is the large, very large Pilot Mountain project, which is based on a JORC-compliant tungsten, copper, silver, zinc resource in Nevada, as all the projects are. We acquired this project from Thor Mining. It has a range of work that's already been completed on it over many years, including a scoping study and metallurgical test work. And we think there is quite a dramatic potential upside from a tungsten and copper exploration perspective, which is what we'll be pursuing. We also think that we can take the project further down the development pathway. And we also think that there is a real commercial value in the United States for a strategic tungsten deposit, particularly as tungsten is one of the critical minerals listed by the US at the moment. In addition to Pilot Mountain, we also have the Golconda Summit project where we're targeting a large-scale gold discovery, quite frankly, in an area where there are many gold discoveries and many substantial multi-million ounce producing gold deposits. So very excited about Golconda. We have 2 additional properties, Stonewall and Garfield, that we acquired from Sunrise Resources PLC that form the rest of the portfolio. So a range of different interests, some more advanced than others. But there is embedded blue sky, I think, across this portfolio of interests, and we're very excited to be working with it.
Okay. And in terms of the Power Metals business model, then this IPO spin-out model, you've gone down the GMR route, so you have one well on the way. The plan is, of course, to have further spin-outs. Can you remind us on the others, and what stage are they at?
Yeah, sure. Well, we have 4 spin-out disposals in process. We, apart from, of course, including GMR, we also have First Class Metals, where we disposed of our Pamela Schreiber interest in Ontario, to First Class Metals Limited, which is seeking a listing in London. We hold circa 35% of First Class Metals, and we will hold a strategic major stake when that vehicle comes on market as a listed business. Secondly, we have a company, First Development Resources Limited, which is focused on 2 things in Australia at the moment: the Patterson region, with magnetic bullseye targets looking for deep gold copper discoveries, and we have certain of our targets have similarities to Greatland Gold's Javier on discovery, which is fantastic and something that's exciting us at the moment. And in addition, in First Development Resources, we have uranium rare earths interest in the Northern Territory of Western Australia. So nice package that's building. We have some more work to do to complete that package, and we're building the management team. We're building all the various things that need to be in place, and they'll be in place efficiently to take that vehicle into its full listing process. So that's getting going as well. And we have New Ballarat Gold Corporation, where we hold 49.9%. And Power has a partner, which is Red Rock Resources, owning 50.1%. That is effectively the planned listing company for the Victoria Goldfields projects, which comprise circa 2,300 square kilometres of licence footprint in Australia, in the state of Victoria, just in and around the Ballarat area. Ballarat is known for its historical gold discoveries and production, and we have a very strategic land position there. Now, that vehicle is also seeking a listing in London, and that's in process at the moment. So 4 different things at the same time, Mark, which is important for us because we think, the market's a bit subdued at the moment. We expect the market to get a lot stronger in due course in our space because the metal prices are robust and strong. The market in the metal space is doing very well. Just the juniors are lagging behind a bit. And we would hope that we can list these vehicles into a strong junior resource climate to enable us to see a very strong return for ourselves, because Power will be a very large strategic investor in all these companies on listing. And also for our investors who support us and for those who buy on market.
Okay, and a final question then, Paul. Of course, this is pre-IPO financing. There will presumably be IPO financing. Is that true? And when do you expect the IPO to go ahead for GMR?
Oh, that's a great question. It's one of those hostage to fortune questions where you can reply in good faith, and then when it doesn't quite work out, you get bludgeoned for it. We're pushing as hard and fast as we can. IPO processes can be quite efficient on occasion and can sometimes take a heck of a time. I would have thought we would be looking around the April time for the for the listing of GMR, subject to approval of the exchange and all the advisors, being able to complete their work on time. You never know what comes up. It could be very efficient, and we might end up a little sooner. It could take a little longer, but it's important to do these things right, because it will be a full stock market listed vehicle when the process is complete, and that requires some focus, and it requires you to accept that on occasions, it might take a little longer than you anticipate, but it will be as quick as we can make it.
Paul Johnson, the CEO of Power Metal Resources, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mark.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stopboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.